Hello everybody, day 27 of shelter. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly waiting in anticipation to hear what Ramaphosa has to say on Thursday evening regarding our current situation with lockdown. And together with that, for many of us comes an enormous amount of uncertainty and anxiety and panic with that. So tonight I want to check in with you specifically around intense emotions and our responsibility to be able to navigate them accordingly. Now, when we look at an emotion, we have already learned that emotions are really important data that we're receiving about situations in our lives and the opportunity to be able to use it as a strategic resource to be able to make good decisions. So I always say that we need to make contact with our emotions while they're still small, because if we can name them, we can tame them. However, if they start to intensify, they start to climb the escalator, and very seldom can we get hold of them and actually work with them appropriately. So what is happening with our emotions when they start to climb the escalator? They actually start to take over, and it's the amygdala part of your brain, your reptilian brain, that is responding on your behalf. And of course, it's not a fully formed brain. And what it does is it goes into an irrational space. When they've intensified and you've had a hijack, you've gone offline, which means that you are not the mature, self-regulated person in the room. You actually become the child in the room in terms of your reaction or behavior that might flow from that. So where we would really love you to build your skill set to be able to self-regulate is to be able to name your emotion before it starts to intensify, and to be able to validate it and allow your prefrontal cortex to be able to respond. Why? Because the cortex works really well with emotions when they're being named, and it's really just taking your thinking and your feeling and being able to actually make good decisions on your behalf, and that's really what we want. So I'm going to leave you with that thought this evening, just around intense emotions. And I think the intense emotions are also another valuable point, is for you to be sure that you're giving it the right name. Remember, your emotion is waiting to be validated, but appropriately. So, if you're feeling angry, but actually it's way more than anger, and you keep calling it anger, and it's not anger, it's actually rage, which is an intensified emotion. Your emotion is going to keep screaming at you until you get to that. So that is why emotional literacy is so very, very important for us, because the minute you can name it and name it appropriately, it's going to settle. Why? Because it knows that you understand what to do with it. It trusts you to make the next good move. So please do continue to work with your emotions. They're giving you incredible cues in this season, and you definitely want to be able to manage that process. We've got a lot of decisions to be making on a personal level, business level, and we need our cognitive and our emotional ability to be able to really be masterful in this area. So I encourage you to make contact, name it appropriately, and make sure that you're making contact with it before it starts to escalate, where you go into a hijack situation. Have a super eve. See you.